Welcome back to Houston Life. We are a month into 2026. And if you're like most of us, you're thinking about what's my next trip? With big events and new travel trends, this year is really full of opportunities. That's why we are so happy to have travel expert Jeanenne Tornatore here to share top tips to help us travel smarter and enjoy more. Jeanenne, it is so great to have you here.
Great to be here. And yeah, this is such an exciting time of year for travelers because a lot of us are in planning mode, thinking and planning where we're going to go this year. So I have some great ideas and information for you today.
Okay, so listen, full disclosure, I have never gone on a cruise, and right now cruising is seeing some of the highest demand ever. What is driving the surge in popularity? Because it's true, everyone is talking about cruising.
Well, multi-generational travel, a focus on experiences really are a couple of the big driving points with this continued demand for cruising. In fact, AAA forecasts 21.7 million Americans will cruise this year. That's up by 1 million travelers from last year. And the big news for cruises in 2026 is this continued expansion of private destinations by cruise lines. You're seeing here Carnival Cruise Line Celebration Key. Just last month, they welcomed its millionth guest just 6 months after it opened. And coming this summer, we're going to be seeing enhancements will be completed for guests to enjoy at Relaxaway, Half Moon Cay. They'll even have a new pier so Carnival can bring in its largest ships. Also coming in 2026, Mahogany Bay. This is Carnival's destination in Roatan, Honduras. It's going to be renamed Isla Tropical. Also expansions there, new pool, new swim-up bar, cabanas. So just so many new experiences. Obviously, there's a lot on the ships, but the real focus this year is when you get off the ships and step on these fantastic islands. Also important, now's the time you want to book these cruises for this year. We're in the middle of what's called wave season. It's the industry's major sales period. It runs January through March. This is when we see cruise lines offer some of the best discounts, perks, and special deals of the entire year. So if you're thinking about one this year, now's the time to get online and book.
Okay, that's a great tip. And you know, Houstonians, we're eaters. So from street food to Michelin stars, food seems to be really shaping people's travel plans as well. What is driving that culinary travel trend?
Yes, food tourism is on the rise. In fact, of surveys, travelers, 77% said that they're interested in culinary touring. Over 50% said they actually want to book a culinary tour within the next 1 to 2 years. What travelers really want here is authentic, local food experiences, street food, those markets, family-run establishments. But they also want immersive sightseeing as part of these trips as well. Of course, you want to see the destinations while you're there. In the last 2 years, EF Go Ahead Tours has seen their food-related tourism business increase by nearly 20%. And interestingly, it's across demographics. So solo travelers, older audiences, a big growth from the Gen X audience as well. What's good news for travelers right now is that EF Go Ahead Tours just announced their new food tours collection. So this portfolio is going to bring 20 food tours across Europe, Latin America, and Asia to travelers this year. I'm talking food trips to some amazing food destinations: Italy, Croatia, Japan, Slovenia, Spain, Thailand, Vietnam. I could go on and on. These are all great places to experience the local culture, the local food. So that's one that definitely should be on travelers' list for this year.
Yeah, truly something for everyone. And then for those sports lovers, there are global sporting events. There are even headline tours. So travelers in 2026 are really building trips around moments. Do we need to know anything heading into this year?
Yeah, there's so many big events driving tourism this year. We have the Winter Olympics, of course, the FIFA World Cup, lots of major music events and tours as well. Roughly 65% of top travel searches in 2026 align with these major global events. So people are definitely going to be heading there. A few things that travelers should keep in mind if you're navigating, trying to plan one of these: secure your flights and hotels now, as early as possible in the year. Consider those nearby secondary cities to some of these big events, better airline availability, cheaper hotels and lodging if you look a little bit outside of that epicenter. And then make sure that you're building in some buffer days, both for your travel days, because it's going to be congested and busy in these areas, but also make sure you're adding in some sightseeing days as well outside of when these events are taking place.
Okay, I love a buffer day. That's what, okay, I'm like, that's what that's called. So for more tips like this, people can follow you at The Outside Insider. Is that right?
Yes, follow me on Instagram. I always have lots of ideas. Trip inspiration at The Outside Insider.
Okay, Jeanenne Tornatore, thanks so much for more vacation ideas, those planning tips. As we mentioned, you can follow Jeanenne online at The Outside Insider, and we'll be right back with more Houston Life. Time to take a trip.